Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you're listening from, welcome to the channel. We have today the most highly requested video in all my DMs. It is the tutorial on how I make my cream of rice, along with training footage for leg day. So what we're gonna do is get the pre-workout cream of rice ready, along with everything else for pre, intra and post-workout. And then we will be getting into a mic'd up leg session with my good friend Jake and my good friend and client Tom McKenna, who has just finished his first competitive season. Now, of course, what better for a cream of rice tutorial video than a brand new flavour, courtesy of Trained by JP, of course. I've actually been waiting for this flavour for some time now. I ordered it a week or so ago, and Royal Mail, Parcel Force, actually ended up with one of their vehicles getting impounded by the police, and all the packages on board seized. So my parcel got lost. So we have our glutamine there, our creatine, and most importantly, the brand new caramel biscuit cream of rice. So I've heard very, very good things about this, both from my coach, Kuba, and Tom, who I'm training with today. So it best live up to the reviews, otherwise they will be both getting it in the ear from myself. So, step one, we need a decent sized bowl. This bowl is dirty because I've used it this morning. However, I am lazy, so I will be reusing it. It's only had cream of rice in it this morning, and it is only going to have cream of rice in it now. So, I must admit, smell-wise, it's not blowing me away. But hopefully better things will come when it is made. So I'm not going to waste time digging for that scoop. This is why you always keep some on hand. So we are at 125 grams of cream of rice for the pre-workout meal. What I have been doing though is a mixture of the Trained by JP cream of rice, along with the hydro rice from Engineered, which we have here. So we've been going with 100 grams of cream of rice, and then just for a bit of texture, 25 grams of the hydro rice. So there we go, 125 grams. Now, a lot of people make their cream of rice will make their cream of rice with water from the kettle. I do not like doing this, one, because I have my fixed fluid intake and it's easier to just take it out of the bottle. And secondly, I think it tastes much better when it's cooked in the microwave. You get a lot less clumps. In terms of how much water to add, so I always go with a 2.5 water to cream of rice ratio. This is the same whether or not it's a mixture of cream of rice and hydro rice, all cream of rice and oats, and even when I'm just cooking my oats, I use the same ratio. It's just consistent across the board. So with our 125 grams of cream of rice mix here, we're going with a 2.5 ratio, taking us to 312.5 grams So I will add this here. And there we go. Next up, a whisk. Again, an absolute essential for making cream of rice. If you use a spoon or a fork, you are in for a bad time. You will just end up with lots of clumps sat in the bottom, and it will not be a good bowl of cream of rice. So get that whisk in there, give it a good mix. And then into the microwave. So for the first interval, I like to go for slightly longer. So typically if it's 100 grams, I will do a minute. If it's more than 100 grams, venturing more towards 125 like we have here, it will be a minute and a half for that first round. This is in an 850 watt microwave. Information that most people never declare. So if you've got a 1000 watt microwave, you probably don't need it in for quite so long. If you've got a less powerful microwave, you probably need it in for longer. So when you're watching your videos on YouTube and people are telling you how long to microwave things for, always bear in mind their microwave might be more or less powerful than yours. So there you go. Details matter. So there we go, that has finished its first round in the microwave. Get the whisk in there. This is the part where you will really notice the difference between using a whisk and using a spoon or a fork, because this now it's started to solidify a little bit. If I was trying to break up any clumps that are in here now with a spoon or, as I mentioned, a fork, then I would not have the same success that I do with a whisk. This whisk I'm using here is literally the perfect size. It's from Amazon. It's an OXO Good Grips whisk. I think it's about £9. It fits in the bowl perfectly. It's not too big. It's not too small. And I can fit it in my mouth to lick off any excess cream of rice that is left after I've finished mixing. And I must admit, after cleaning the whisk, shall we say, licking it clean after mixing it before putting it in for the microwave for the first time, this stuff does taste very good. And the smell of it now, as I'm mixing this, I'm expecting very, very good things when it comes to my pre-workout meal. So now back in the microwave for, I've done 50 seconds here. Sometimes if you have a really large amount, say 150 grams, you probably want to stick it in for a minute. Another thing to bear in mind is flavors though. So I've noticed chocolate flavors, for some reason, cook a lot quicker and clump a lot easier. So with that, you want to be doing smaller bursts, probably in the region of 40 seconds. Again, unless you've got a very large amount of cream of rice, then you probably want to knock that up to 45, 50 seconds. This here, my first time cooking this, I've noticed it did seem to be cooking a lot quicker than other flavors do. So that is why I've pulled it down from a minute to 50 seconds. So now what I tend to do is get the mini spatula in. It's at a point where I'm probably going to struggle to mix that with the whisk. I do like my cream of rice very thick, literally like cement. So you might have wanted to do just that and leave it there. I'll probably get this in, mix it a bit and see what the consistency is like. So I reckon here now I could probably go for another burst, but for most people this might be where you like the consistency of cream of rice, and that is exactly what you want. As I say, I actually like mine very thick, so I will be putting it back in again, probably for 45 seconds. The other thing with using the spatula at this point is if I was to try and whisk, if I was successful in doing so, I'm just going to end up with loads of cream of rice stuck on the whisk. So I don't want to be eating the majority of my pre-workout whilst I'm making it. So with the spatula, I'm able to just wipe it on the edge and get the majority of it off. So that is there. I'll also be using that to mix the frozen blueberries into it after this is finished cooking, so I'm not making any additional mess. So next up, we will be getting ready the rest of my pre and intra workout nutrition along with my post workout meal. So step one, we will be getting ready the intra. Which will be consisting of 20 grams of Trained by JP EAAs in the tropical flavour, which is firmly my new favourite now. It is far surpassed the berry in terms of the leaderboard rankings. Definitely takes the #1 spot now. So there we have our 20 grams of EAAs. Much to the disgust of Keithy West, if anyone saw his post the other day, this will be consumed halfway through the workout with 200 mils of water. We then have our intra-workout carbs. These are still present in a diet phase, and I think it is very important to keep them present in a diet phase. Training performance is what we are aiming to uphold with our nutrition. We want to fuel our training sessions, so protecting our intra, pre, post nutrition is vitally important, as this is what is going to fuel our session and help us recover from it. So 30 grams of performance fuel in the pina colada flavour. Again, a firm favourite for myself. And next we have the pre-workout, which is HydroFloat for some extra hydration prior to our session. We then have Mega Pump for a mega pump, which is definitely going to be the goal here with today's leg session. It's also got a nootropic blend in it, which I don't know whether or not it's just placebo. I do buy into that though. Like, I do notice a difference between using this and other pump products that don't necessarily have that nootropic blend. Creatine, we are going with 5 grams in our intra and 5 grams in our pre. So 10 grams total there, along with 5 grams of glutamine in the intra. Again, this will aid hydration along with uptake of the carbohydrates. Inside the intra and the pre, we will also be having some of my salt intake for the day. And in the intra, we will also be having 50 ml of coconut water when it comes time to add the water to the supplements, which I will be doing just before I leave. In terms of post-workout nutrition, we have 150 grams of berries. They were weighed out before to let them defrost. And then we have our carbohydrates, which will be 125 grams of the gluten-free Cocoa Pops, which you will have seen from my previous video. And of course, no post-workout nutrition would be complete without a protein source, or any meal for that sake would be complete without a protein source. So we have 40 grams of isolate going in. Feeling like caramel fudge today, which is my all-time favorite. Honestly, it's such a good flavour. If you have not tried it, I highly recommend. And then whilst I'm in the swing of getting things ready, I will also get my 40 grams of isolate prepared, or weighed out at least, for the cream of rice meal later. So again, 40 grams of isolate going in to the cup, ready to be mixed into a whey paste. We are going with the white chocolate hazelnut. Seemed like a good option. White chocolate with Biscoff sounds pretty damn good to me. And on that same note of favourite flavours and combinations, the second most asked thing in my DMs has been a list of my favourite combinations when it comes to cream of rice and isolates. If you're wondering why I get so many questions on this, follow my Instagram and you'll see the amount of times I post my pre-workout meal or my meal 4 from the rest day, which is another cream of rice concoction. So top tier combos in my opinion are maple syrup and cinnamon Danish. You definitely cannot go wrong with that. Apple pie with caramel fudge or the chocolate peanut butter. That is a very good combination. The custard cream of rice with malted chocolate. We also have vanilla with carrot cake. That is also very good. So vanilla cream of rice with carrot cake isolate. We also have the white chocolate coconut with malted chocolate. Custard cream with chocolate orange. Also a very good combination. So custard cream of rice with the chocolate orange isolate. And probably one of my number ones at the minute is the salted caramel cream of rice with the vanilla isolate. Although, to be honest, the salted caramel is that good, it goes with pretty much anything. Anything sort of light flavoured, so white chocolate hazelnut, vanilla, or even the caramel fudge. That is a great combo. So salted caramel cream of rice with caramel fudge isolate. Flavours to avoid, in my opinion, are the lemon meringue. I was just really not a fan of this. It was just enough hint of lemon that it meant that it didn't pair well with anything, but it wasn't strong enough that it actually tasted of a lemon meringue. Chocolate peanut butter, from what I remember, it was a long time ago. Cream of rice was also pretty mid. And I'm probably going to catch a lot of stick from a good few people for this. I'm not a fan of the triple chocolate. I think it's too sickly and it's just not the one for me. I would much rather have the chocolate orange if I was going to have a chocolate based cream of rice. I will have a look through the trusty JP cupboard to my left here and see if there's any more combinations that I can think of that I would recommend, and I will put them on screen in just a second for you guys to have a look at. Just in case there are any that I have missed out. So guys, here we have the start of the pre-workout ritual, beginning with espresso going down. So I've got my sugar-free syrup in here. We've gone with vanilla today. And then we have one coffee pod, so one espresso going in approximately 25-30 minutes before the pre-workout meal. So for anyone who doesn't know, who doesn't follow my coach Kuba, who bangs on about this very frequently, caffeine is a vasoconstrictor, so it will actually cause you to have a worse pump than if you were to have it further away from your training session. As well, with the half-life of caffeine, we do want it further away from when we are trying to sleep. And also, because of that half-life, it's not just going to be in and out of our system. If we have it an hour and a half pre-training, we are still going to be seeing the benefits of that during our session. We don't need to be having it on the way to the gym, or worse still, chugging a monster intra-session, bloating ourselves, and yeah, it's just not necessary, not advantageous whatsoever. So if you're someone who does that, I'd recommend packing it in. Honestly, that has got to be one of my most favourite noises ever. It's literally like Pavlov's dog. Like, I hear that noise of the coffee machine and instantly begin salivating because I know that it's associated with a delicious coffee. So I'm going to drink this, get back to a bit more work before it's time to make the pre-workout meal, get that down the hatch, and then head off to the gym once I've finished my shift, ready for a big leg session with the boys. Okay guys, so it is that time to prepare the rest of the pre-workout meal and get it down the hatch. So with our 40 grams of isolate here, we are going in with, usually I would recommend a 1-to-1 ratio. However, some batches of isolate are thicker than others, depending on flavour and also batch. This one here, the white chocolate hazelnut that I have at the minute, is a little bit thicker. So I've gone in there with 43 grams of water. Give this a mix and see where that lands us. I reckon I'll probably need a little bit more. It's always better to add less and add more, because once you add too much, then you're going to turn it into too watery of a paste, and you won't obviously be able to remove water at that point. So always start with less and add more, rather than the other way around. Again, there is an element of preference here, depending on how thick you like your whey paste. Again, much like my cream of cement, I do like a thicker whey paste. So this here isn't too far off what I'm looking for, but as I say, I am going to add just a little bit more water. Need hands like an absolute surgeon to make sure you don't add too much at this point. It's very easily done. And honest to God, I am like the Rain Man of whey paste ratios, because this here is 45 grams and is, in my opinion, a pretty spot on consistency for whey paste. So next up we need our salt. So salt portion for the day. I do like to have a slightly higher amount of salt in my pre-workout meal, again to aid pump. So we are going with 2¼ grams of our salt mix. The rest of the meals are typically 1.35, apart from our meal 1, which again is slightly higher, just to replenish electrolytes lost during the night. We then, of course, need our cream of rice from the fridge, which has been chilling for the last couple of hours. So sprinkle the salt over the top here. And then simply add on our whey paste. And then once we've got that all scraped out, spread it out using the spatula. Again, as mentioned before, nice even coverage of whey paste so that we get a nice biteful of white chocolate and caramel biscuit in every mouthful. So this is what we are at currently. And last but by no means least, we have the sweet cinnamon. So a healthy dusting of sweet cinnamon going in on top. And voila, there we go. Pre-workout meal is served. So here we have it, guys. I'm gonna get this down me, take my injectables, so my L-carnitine and my So here we have it, guys, the finished product. I'm going to get this down me, take my injectables, so my L-carnitine and my engineered turbocharged, and then I'm going to get my stuff packed and head to the gym. So here we go, guys, a little taste test of the JP caramel biscuit cream of rice. Take a nice wedge out of that. Oh, blueberry wanting to come with there. Okay, that's pretty banging. I must admit, I do think I still prefer the salted caramel, but this is definitely up there. And if history plays out as it has done every time with cream of rice flavours, I'll no doubt begin to enjoy this more and more the more I have it. So, last few bits just getting put together now. We have, as mentioned, the salt that needs to go into our pre and intra carbs. So we will be having 0.9 grams here of our salt mix. So the salt mix is 6 grams of pink Himalayan and 3 grams of low salt. This remains constant across each and every single day, along with a consistent amount of water, which is 7.1 litres. Sounds a bit of a peculiar number, but it's just how it works out with the amount that I have from water, along with espressos and a lemon tea that I have later on at night. So in terms of fluid distribution for the EAAs, pre and intra, we have 1.6 litres going in, which is 100 millilitres, plus obviously a 1.5, so there's our 100 mil, and then an entire 1.5. So our pre-workout is 550 ml of water, so an additional 450 going in here now. Water is essential for a pump. It's also essential for a lot of the other ingredients within your pump products to work, and it is also essential for digestion to obviously uptake those ingredients. We have 200 mils going in with our EAAs. This is a decently small amount, allowing us to drink this in one go mid-session. And then the remainder will be going into the intra, along with, as mentioned before, 50 millilitres of coconut water. So there we have our 50 ml. And the rest of our 1.5 litres. Now you have to be quick with the carbs to make sure the ball does not stick to the bottom. Otherwise, you'll just end up sipping water for the entirety of your session until the ball frees itself, and then you'll be drinking clumps of intra, chewing on it as you train, which is not ideal or enjoyable. Meal prep bag here. This is the Wolfpack Ultimate Cooler, I think it's called, something like that. It's 30 litres. It's the best meal prep bag I've found. Highly recommend it. Loads of storage compartments, holds a lot, and it's got a cooler bag, so it'll keep you food nice and cold. We have our water there for mixing our post-workout shake. All of our intra and pre packed. And that is us ready for the gym. I'll see you guys there. So we are in for legs with the boys. I have got here fashionably late, so I'm in trouble. Running on jack time as always. So the lads have pretty much finished warming up. I'm just going to do my quick pre-session priming stuff, which will consist of a couple of leg swings, just get the hips mobile, a set of split squats on each leg, and a set of walking lunges. And then from there, we'll be getting into the session. Tell you what, mate, I think do that for my morning routine is alarm goes off, out of bed, checked in. If they have, deal with them. If I went to Charlie and was like, what do you think going out this morning? And she out of the pivot press, different foot that I'm doing already out. I've got more in the tank. I'll do. So guys, back with another partial voiceover. There was a bit of crosstalk between the two mics, so in some instances both myself and Jake were audible. So what I was saying here is the purpose of these warm-up sets, the split squat and the walking lunge, were literally just to get my heart rate up and take the joints that we would be using through their full range of motion before we begin to start loading them heavily through our working sets. So nothing to failure, literally just get a bit of a sweat on and get warmed up. So in terms of introductions, here we have Mr. Jake Woodruff, online coach, classic physique bodybuilder. And then over here we have Mr. Tom McKenna, classic physique, first timer, veteran.
Veteran. Both of you are both veterans, mate. You've done the same amount of shows.
Yeah, literally.
Actually, Tom's done more than you.
Are we only counting shows we're in condition for, though? Obviously, you will probably notice Tom from the most recent YouTube video, and as he's just mentioned there, mentioned many times. So starting here, first exercise with the prime seated curl. Warm-up sets, I like to start with a cam setting higher than what I'm going to work with, just to build that neurological connection with the target muscle before we start loading it in a more length and bias range.
This is just sort of in the middle here, isn't it?
I went through the frame because if you put it under, it rubs on the seat adjuster and it ends up putting a hole in the belt over time. Because the one that I lost, my old belt, like, I had a fucking, like, it was about to go through it, like. Come on then, Jake. Come on, mate. Nice. And again. Yep.
I've got it. Oh, shit.
Didn't want to say anything.
Oh,
Max reps?
it was plus £5, and that was 10 plus 1, so that was a rep up.
Yeah, so definitely a progression with that.
Yeah. Yeah, so five up, a rep up, and on the wrong cam.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought something fell off. I couldn't tell whether it was the seat or what. But yeah, that makes sense. 1, 2, 3.
So
Yeah,
Jake's just taken a resistance profile PB.
Yeah.
As we've mentioned before, there's many ways to progress your lifts, and Jake has just unlocked a new one.
Yeah. The accidental, what is it? Accidental
Cam same
mid-range
one.
cam instead of a length of range cam. So making it harder in the short, which we're not going to complain about. First exercise of the day. But I ain't doing that again. Jesus.
So we're going to have to change what's on the Spotify currently, because we don't want to be listening to TBT Unfiltered whilst we're trying to get our hamstring curl sets. But great podcast. You should definitely check it out if you haven't already.
That is my podcast, by the way, so go check it out for sure.
Shameless plug indeed. And instead, in the words of Mr. Gan, we will go for something a little chill. So Trent Twins and Tom Platts screaming at me.
There it is. Come on. Nice. Come on. Come. Mine. Yeah. Good. Nice. Good shit.
Even just watching, you're supposed to do those steps in slightly another level of intensity that I just haven't unlocked yet.
It's because you're being coached by a men's physique guy.
What'd you say?
That's getting kept in. That's staying in the YouTube. Good. Nice. Nice. Yeah, come on. There's 2 at least. At least. Yep. Nice. One with me if you need it. Come on. Make it yours. Yeah. Easy. If you want another, take another. Come on. If it's there, let's go. Good, it's dropping off. Good breath. I've not touched that.
So next up we have leg extension. Tom here doing his warm-up sets. As I mentioned in previous video, push. After your first exercise, you don't need quite as many warm-ups. So we each took probably about 3 warm-ups on that hamstring curl there. We're probably reduced to about 2 now on this leg extension. Although we are fresh to training quads, we do have a lot of blood in the area. The knee has been loaded to some extent, so there just isn't that requirement to take loads of additional warm-ups. We'll just be burning through energy that we need for our work sets.
Good. Nice. Finish. Come on. It's dropping off. It's dropping off. Little touch from me. Come on. If you want another, it's there. Even if it's a partial. Come on. That's it. Good.
Come on, Jake. Yep. I've got it. Yep. Oh. In my opinion, tempo is only really good for beginners, and just that 3-second negative and drilling that into them and drilling a pause in the changing direction. Like, your tempo should just be like pretty standardized across the board, unless you're doing like pauses in the contraction, or I mean some bigger movements you might do a pause in the lengthen, but I'd only really advocate for them if like you're suffering with any sort of joint issues. So like holding a contraction in the short on a leg extension will help with like tendonitis, and then obviously holding a pause in the lengthened on a big compound will limit the amount of load that you're able to use. So, do you know what I mean? Limiting your load exposure is obviously going to do a number on protecting the joints.
I've never been, but Tom really likes it. Finn Kelly and Reese Pearson, yeah. Like it's probably the size of like that room there. Do you know what I mean? From like this wall to like the back wall over there. I think it's quite...
Make it fucking count. No second places. No second fucking places.
Good. Good shit. Come on. Easy. Nice. Nice. Come on. We are 2 exercises in. We've done set 1 on cam 5, which is mid to lengthened range bias, which helps you get into that short a little bit easier, even though it's set 1. It's quite an even resistance profile, whereas now set 2, we've moved over to cam 3, which is fully length and range, so it'll be quite heavy in that bottom portion in the stretch, and it'll drop off quite drastically. So set 1, I did 190 pounds. I'm going to only drop it to 180 pounds here for set number 2.
What's
so
that?
with that change in cam, moving to that length and range, but obviously a lot easier getting into the contraction. It means I'm pretty much going to be able to lift the same weight through
what
these
flavour
2
psycho
sets.
production?
So
From
that is the
JP?
goal. We got 10 reps on the last one, so I'm going to see if I can match that as well. 10 reps
Smells fucking
on
good,
this different cam and go from there. And then after that, we are into our big exercise of the day, which is the Cybex squat press. So me and Jack are going to have a battle to see who can max it out the most.
Take it there, Jake. Yep. Come on, mate. Take it to that place. These are the reps we came for. Drive it up. Finish.
Oh! Nice. So what are you doing? You're doing a squat instead of a hinge? I'll see what this feels like first. Fuck me. Oh. Oh shit. That's gonna be fun.
So we've got the first big set of the day going down. Up next, we have first working set of the Cybex squat press. So, as I say, first big set of the day. Not that we don't give everything to every set, but this is the first movement where there's almost an element of nerves going into it. Like, a little bit scared to get underneath this, and that feeling only grows with each subsequent week. Trying to match the reps and obviously beat the logbook, but a match here would be a win, to be honest, because fighting with this week on hand now, is becoming more and more of a challenge. You got the handles, please, mate?
Come on, Jack, let's work.
Here it is. Come on.
Come on.
Good shit. Good. Good. Good.
Corner. Boom! Corner. Yep. Oh. And this goes to show why how you lift the weight is more important than what weight you lift. Because Jake's legs are fucking well bigger than mine, and I just got fucking way more reps than him. But if you watch our cadence, his reps were probably a lot more continuous than mine were, and as a result, bigger quads. So something that I probably need to work on a little bit there in making my reps a little bit more continuous.
Good. Good. Good.
So, Cybex squat press finished. Me and Jake both survived it. We are now on to our single leg hamstring work. The AA is about to go down, half time, and yeah, we get into this. And then we have belt squat RDL to finish the hamstrings off. So for our lion hamstring curl here, 2 cues that I like to give. So initiate the movement by driving the quad into the pad. That's why we've got this. So puts the knee in a higher position, gives us a better chance of thinking about this cue. And then secondly, don't just bring your heel to your butt. Try and kick your heel up to the ceiling as high as you can, and then let the hamstring do the work from there. So another thing to note is with this being later on in our session now, we have got this predominantly loaded on the top peg, so length and range, so that we get that drop off in the short range. This then accommodates for the strength profile of the hamstring, which is now fatigued in that shortened range. Another thing to take note of here is in the length and range, I'm not fully straightening out my leg. When you do this, you actually shift the tension onto the calf rather than the hamstring. And we're obviously trying to train our hamstrings here and not our calves. We will get to that as our final exercise.
Come on, Jake. Two sets here.
Yeah, rest pause on a second. So last set on calves here now. We have a rest pause set. So this is probably one of my favorite set extenders. I'm not a major fan of drop sets because lightening the weight, one, you've got to get off the machine to do it. So that pump, the metabolites that you built up have chance to diminish more so than just resting for 5 breaths. Additionally, when you restart the set with that lighter weight, you've then got to perform set amount of reps before you get into those effective reps. Whereas with your rest pause, you literally just take your 3 to 5 breaths and then straight back into the set, straight back into effective reps. Yes, you may only get like 2, 3, 4 extra reps, but those reps are going to be highly stimulatory, not going to be wasting any energy getting to them. And as I said, it's just one of my favorite set extenders. Come on! So forearms now, just the one set of wrist curls and then one set of wrist extension, just tagged on to the end of the session. And then, as always, whilst Jake is finishing off his forearms, I will get my minute and 30 done on the plank, working on that midsection control so we don't have any big pregnant open bodybuilder bellies on stage. There we have it, guys. That is a wrap on legs. Got Jake over there getting his post-workout down him. Could not delay it any longer as it is pretty late. It's dragged on quite a lot this session, but always good to get in with the boys and push each other. Oh, time for the post-workout meal. Prepared before on camera, so you've seen exactly what we've got, but I will flip the Osmo around to show you anyway. So we have the gluten-free Cocoa Pops, we have our mixed berries, we have our 40 grams of isolate. In here we have our magnesium, so this one here, this one is for meal 6. And then we also have some of Mr. Jack Eagles on the YouTube for consuming said meal. Gonna consume this now and then head off home. It is pretty damn late, so it's gonna be a bit of a rush when I get back to shower, do my shot, prepare what I need to for my last meal. Pretty much gonna be eating that straight away and then heading to bed. As I said, it was a lengthy session, but as always, it is great to get in, train with the boys, push each other, and honestly, as much as training is a job that needs doing in order to reach the goal, we obviously get into bodybuilding for enjoyment. So spending time with like-minded individuals who are striving towards that same goal as us is always uplifting and just a fun experience in general. So if ever you get the opportunity to train with your friends, if they are into bodybuilding, I would highly suggest doing so, and not just having this lone wolf mentality and feeling like you need to isolate yourself from people, especially in prep, where the amount of things we can do to socialise becomes increasingly limited. Obviously, going out for food is not on the menu. Going out for drinks as well, definitely not. So, do what you can, where you can, to spend time with friends, family, loved ones. And, as I say, do not isolate yourself. Bodybuilding, at the end of the day, should add to your life, not take away from it. Yes, of course, there will be sacrifices, but ultimately, this stuff should bring happiness to your life.